Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and brought to you with emotion, passion, honesty, and of course, my comments. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys, it's welcome to a Friday again. Welcome to heading into week 2 of the NFL. But unfortunately, we have to talk about week 1, which was another repeat, in my opinion, of last year. And I'll get into that. Okay. And I'll break it down. So here we go. Recap of the Broncos Raiders game. New coach, new kicker, same result. And what I mean by that, guys, is same result. A loss. This time against the arch rival division team, Las Vegas Raiders. And this one hurts even more, I think, than last year. And I'll tell you why. In my opinion, these are just my opinions, okay? This is why I think it hurts more. Last year, we were all hyped up. We got Russell Wilson. We have Nathaniel Hackett. We have a whole new, energized team. And Russell Wilson, has to go back to Seattle and play against, his former team. And it's very difficult to get pumped up for that. We saw that when Peyton Manning on the Broncos went back to Indy. It was tough to play, and they lost that game. Why? Because it's emotional for the quarterback. Very emotional. So last year didn't hurt as much as this year. And here's the reason why. A lot of reasons, but here's the main reason why. A brand new coach in Sean Paton, okay? A revived Russell Wilson. He's a lot thinner. He's a lot more active. He seems to be grasping what we needed. 17-16. Same exact result. And here is the underlying reason. Okay, I'm going to give kudos to where kudos need to be. But let me point out the things that caused this game for the Broncos to lose. Penalties. And I'll get into one of them that really wasn't and shouldn't have been a penalty. The other thing is Lutz. Lutz, I call him Klutz because he missed an extra point and he missed a field goal. Was it a long field goal? Yes. Okay, it was. So what? You're hired to do one freaking thing. Kick a field goal. Am I saying it's easy? No, I know it's not easy. I'm not saying that it is. But if you're hired to do that and you get rid of not just McManus, but you get rid of Maher and you get rid of who is the other guy? Can't remember where it went. Anyway, 3 kickers. None of them are on the Broncos team. And 2 of them are still, are much better than Klutz. But no, I'll get into that too. It's penalties. It is miss field. If we make that field goal an extra point, and yes, if the Raiders come down and kick a field goal to send it to overtime, we would have gone to overtime. We would not have lost this game. It would have been 20-20, and then you take your chances in overtime. But that didn't happen because we, again, don't have a kicker that knows how to put it through the uprights. How do you miss an extra point? I know it's further back now and it has been for a while, but still, that's just mind-boggling to me. Absolutely mind-boggling. Okay? So that leads me into hang on, let me hit the chat here real quick. Clayton Huron, always glad to see you in the house. He says, evening, guys. Evening to you too as well, man. Always love it when you come in and tell everybody out there to smash that like button and share it with your family, your friends, your relatives, your outlaws, your in-laws, whomever. I totally agree. Hey, my nephew's in the house. Robert Marino. Lutz is Peyton's buddy. I know I'm going to get into that. I'm going to totally get into that story. Thanks so much for bringing it up. It's very true. And that's the problem that I have with coaches that come in and they want to bring in their own guys, whether they're necessarily the best move or not. I'll get into that. Biggie Bronco in the house. How you doing, Bill? I hope everybody's doing okay tonight. I know I'm doing good. I wasn't doing good after last week's game, but I'm optimistic about this upcoming game. So hopefully we can turn things around. I got a comment on that too that came up. Denver's defense, and that's another reason why I feel like we lost this game. Denver's defensive pass rush was non-existent. In Sunday's loss to the Raiders, Denver registered 0. See that? See that right there? See? 0 sacks on quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. It would appear that head coach Sean Payton and his already under fire defensive coordinator Vance Joseph after one game, well, you don't want to go down last year's road, guys. You don't want to go down last year's road because that was ugly. That was beyond ugly. That was hard. That was hard to do the neighborhood on the MHRT network because it was 9 or 10-9, 11-10, whatever the scores. It was difficult. Vance Joseph, going back again, says it would appear that head coach Sean Payton and his already under fire defensive coordinator Vance Joseph might have to tweak their scheme. You think? What do you mean might have to? Might have to? How about you? Yeah, you got to, because it didn't work. Why would you even think about, well, maybe we want to? No, you don't maybe nothing. You do it. If something doesn't work, you change it. I know the old saying is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, guess what? This is broke. This is broken big time. Because we didn't even get to Jimmy Garoppolo. And yes, the guy releases the ball with a 2.49, I think it is, 2.49 second release. So you're not really going to get to him. But that's because we have to have our defenders covering the receivers. So he has to take more time. Or he has to move out of the pocket. We didn't create any of that. Well, Justin Simmons did. He shut down Devontae Adams like nobody's business. But not Mathis. I can't remember. I never can remember that guy. Anyways, he couldn't cover Jacoby Myers with a wet blanket. I mean, he had no answer for Jacoby Myers. And that's another reason why we lost. There's many variable reasons. Another one was the fact that we had 4th and 3. This reminds me a lot of Hackett. Last year, we had a 4th and 5, and Hackett decided to let Brandon McManus try a 64-yard field goal when he never made a field goal more than 60 yards. And then last week, 4th and 3, with about 6 minutes left in the game, a little over 6 minutes. Denver trailing by 1. Do you go for it? Do you take the chance and go for it? Why not? You're down by 1. Not Sean Payton. / Hackett? Payton? I don't know which one came out because we punted. We freaking punted the ball. Gave it back to the Raiders, and our defense was gassed here on that drive. None whatsoever. Because we were gassed. And Sean Payton decides to punt the ball. You're kidding me, right? Now, this is a joke, right? No, it's not a joke. We punted the freaking ball. Stupid. Go for it. I mean, he went for the onside kick to start the game. It's a surprise. Does he do it when we really need it? Does he really pull all the punches he's got? Nope. Let's just punt the ball because our defense will stop him. No, it won't. No, it won't. And it didn't. And we lost 17-16. Same team, different coach, different kicker, same result. Okie dokie. On top of that, the Broncos had 6 defensive penalties, which played a huge part in the loss. Now, I'm not going to dwell significantly on last week's game as far as what it was that we lost, because we all know we lost, okay? We all know we lost, and it's to the Raiders, and we hate losing to them, but it is what it is. I am going to get into something that is very interesting going into this coming Sunday's game. Now, do I do that now or do I save it for, hang on a second. Yeah, let me go ahead. You know what? I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that for when I get actually towards the end of this thing. Okay, end of the show. Okay. Okay, so let me see. Hang on a second. I'm trying to look at these the different chats coming in because they're pouring in, which I love. Let's see. Big E Bronco says, "How you doing?" Oh, I already said that one. Okay, so we're all doing good. Clayton Haran says, "No pass at all, no stunts, no twist, nothing." You're right. We didn't do anything to put pressure on. I don't know where Gregory was. I know that our middle linebackers had a field day with tackling people because the offensive line didn't stop. I mean, well, I can't say we slowed down the rush because they ran the ball like nobody's business. And we did a great job of on our defense. We really did a good job on defense. I mean, you hold a team to 17 points, you should score more than 16. That's all I'm saying. You should score more than 16. Robert Marino says week 2 game is a must win. If Denver goes 0-2, then they have some serious issues with culture and front office. I'm getting into that too. I'll get into that too. And no, guys, I know you guys are thinking, okay, did you guys, rehearse this before coming on? Nope. I just, all I said was, I sent him my link to my show. And even though he's my nephew, he's a huge, huge Vikings fan. He knows what it's like after last night, which is unfortunate. He's a huge Vikings fan. He knows I'm a Broncos fan. We support each other, but yeah, he knows how I think and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Biggie Bronco says VJ used to run a man coverage defense, and it was trying to run that Vic Fangio zone. Zone doesn't work with Denver. I know exactly what you're saying. He should be running a man-to-man. Absolutely be running man-to-man, because zone left up gaping holes for Jacoby Myers because he wasn't covered. And whenever Patrick Surtain, or not Patrick Surtain, I'm sorry, Justin Simmons will come over the top and try and help out, it was a zone. So you got defenders here and the ball's dropping in the middle. That was the issue. You have to play man-to-man with certain teams. Vance Joseph wasn't doing that. And I have a problem with Vance Joseph. I really do. And it's because of what I saw in week 1. That game should have been ours. That game should have been ours easily. Even with missed extra point and missed field goal, that game should have been ours. But it wasn't. And it has a lot to do, in my opinion, with not going 3 and outs on defense. The Broncos went 3 and out on offense a couple of times, but they couldn't get the Raiders to punt the freaking ball. They couldn't get a stop. And that only bodes ugly for games coming up. Because after Washington, we have the Dolphins on the road. Oh, by the way, they beat the Chargers in LA with 36 points, and we could only score 16. Holy smokes. And then we face the Bears in Chicago. I'm not saying the Bears are a juggernaut, but neither are the Raiders. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about this team at this point in time. I really don't. Robert Marino, and I totally agree, says Lutz is a dome kicker. He doesn't know how to kick in that thin air in Colorado. The ball does move differently. Yes, the ball does move differently. There's no doubt about it. And if there's any kind of wind, I mean, you have the mountain range to the west, but Mile High Stadium or Empower Field doesn't sit right at the front range. It's right off of I-25 just to the west. So you're not going to get a whole lot of wind blockage. So if there's any kind of wind, it's cold, it's altitude, all that stuff comes into play. Okay. Speaking of penalties, this is one penalty that should not have been called. Oh, hang on. Before I go into that, we were talking about going 0-2. Okay, let me read this stat real quick. This is eye-opening. Since 1990, only 31 teams out of 270 that began the season 0-2 advanced to the playoffs. That is only an 11.5% chance. If Denver loses this game Sunday, I'm going to get into some of my thoughts. If Denver loses this game Sunday, they only have 11.5% chance to make the playoffs. Sure. Can they go on a 15-2 run? Absolutely. Do I believe it's going to happen? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not if we keep playing like we did in week 1. There is no chance on earth that's going to happen. But could we make the playoffs? Could we go 10-7 like I said at the beginning of the season? I think so. Yeah, I certainly think we could. Absolutely, I think we could go 10-7. But I picked the Raiders. I picked the Broncos to win last week, but I picked the Broncos to lose in Vegas at the end of the season. So all I got to do is flip it. I'm still 10-7 as long as I win the other 10 or 9 games. So that's possible. But after the week 1, and now you're facing an 0-2 deficit with only 11.5% chance of making the playoffs and being positive about it. If we lose this game, to be positive, going into Miami, Chicago, not so much. Not so much. All right. Biggie says it's week 1. A lot of teams didn't put up a lot of week 1. Didn't put up a lot of week 1. I think once they get continuity, add more reps, flying together, the better it's going to look. Sure, but when's that going to happen? Is that going to happen this coming week? Is it going to happen in week 5? What about week 7? I mean, we got tough teams, guys. We got tough teams to face. And we thought we had an easy one against the Raiders until we shot ourselves in the foot. Well, speaking of foot, Klutz, we did it to ourselves, guys. We did it to ourselves. And one of the penalties that I don't feel and believe and think it was a penalty, well, there's 2 of them, but this one for sure, I don't think it was a penalty. And here it is. Justin Simmons calls Jimmy G an actor. On a 3rd and 8, Garoppolo scrambled for what might have been a first down run, and Simmons came up to make the play. Simmons hit him and was called for a personal foul. Jimmy G grabbed his head. I'm hurt. Jimmy G grabbed his head and made a scene on the field. He hurt me. Yeah, Craig, you put dirt on and shut up. Made a scene on the field after the hit. A close look on replay. Simmons never hit Garoppolo's head, and a flag should never have been called. When Simmons was asked about the play, he said, and I quote, "I guess great acting on Jimmy G's part. I hit his shoulder pad with my elbow. Anyone watching that clip can tell that there was no force with helmet to helmet." End quote. Totally agree. I saw it. He came in, Garoppolo's going down. He came in, he hit this, he came in with his elbow like this, hit his shoulder pad up here, glanced off. Garoppolo goes back, immediately grabs his head almost before it hit the ground. Well, of course he is, because he wants to protect his head from actually getting a concussion. He's not stupid. He's not stupid at all. But here's how I see it. To me, it's typical of Josh McDaniels' cheating strategy. He did it in New England. He did it in Denver when he was with Denver with the spy camera. Now he's doing it in Vegas with Garoppolo at quarterback. I'll bet you 10-1. I'll bet you 10-1 that McDaniels has been in Garoppolo's ear saying, "Hey, if you get hit high, you get hit anywhere, grab your head. They'll throw a flag every time." Bingo. They did. Absolutely. That should never, ever been called for personal foul. None whatsoever. None. I can't stand these acting. There needs to be, in my opinion, there needs to be a challenge flag that you can challenge the helmet to helmet. Why not? These guys are going to freaking cheat left and right. They are going to fake it left and right. This is going to become WWE or whatever it is, where they fake get hurt and then they get right up and beat the other guy's butt. This is, to me, it's preposterous. You cannot, you cannot have a team lose because the referees are making horrible calls. Was it a bang bang play? Absolutely. But why not go back and review it? Why not say, okay, boom, you want to check it out? Throw it, like in baseball. Okay, in baseball, you have 15 seconds on a play. The manager has 15 seconds to look at the guy and say, review it. Within that 15 seconds, after the 15 seconds up, he either has to go thumbs up or put the headset on like this, or he goes like this and says, keep rolling. Okay? It's one or the other. Why can't they do that in the NFL? Why can't the head coach throw the flag? The referee comes over and says, you got 15 minutes to review it and challenge. You want to do it? Okay, fine. I know it's different in football because you have that time in between. So he comes over and he says, you can challenge, yes or no? What are you challenging? I'm challenging the fact it was not helmet to helmet. And if it's not, it's an incomplete pass and the ball goes back to where it was and there is no personal foul, period. I don't care if the guy's hurt. If he's hurt, it's not helmet to helmet. So why would it be a penalty? Oh, you're going to start giving out penalties now for someone being hurt? So if guy's running down the sideline and he just all of a sudden pulls up lame, oh, that's got to be a penalty. Oh, shoot, man, the guy must touch me. No, I'm only talking about helmet to helmet. Okay? You should have a rule coming up that says you have got to put in a review. Otherwise, officials, and I'm only throwing this out there, guys, because I'm just thinking, just wondering, what if an official has a vendetta against a team or a player or a head coach or an organization or an ownership? Couldn't he throw the flag, personal foul flag? Or you hit him in the head. Oh, you can't challenge it. How are you going to know? Go back and look at replay. Okay, great. We all see it. We all know it's not, but it's not ever going to be called because you can't challenge it. You can't reverse it. And I know they want to make the game faster and all that kind of stuff. That's all well and good. We love football. Me personally, I don't care if it goes 3.5 hours. As long as my team's doing well, and of course, if they win, it's even better. But I want the game to be accurate. I'm sick and tired of human error. I am. In this day and age where we live and we have all this technology, why not freaking use it? Why not use it? Because games are being lost on things that should not be called. A touchdown that wasn't a touchdown, an incomplete pass that was ruled a fumble, whatever it is. It comes down to human error, and that, to me, should be left to the players on the field, not the doggone referees. It should not be left up to them. We have the capability of challenging plays. We have the capability of technology. I say let's freaking use it. Let's make it happen. Okay? Am I angry that the Broncos lost? Yeah, I'm not angry. I'm frustrated and angry as to the things that are called that shouldn't be. The things that are not called that should be. Like a face mask. Go back and review that. If a guy's head turns, he ain't turning because he's looking over here. Not when he's running forward, he's looking over here. No, that ain't why. Why? Because he got his mask ripped. That's why. And if it's not called, it should be reviewed. Would it take longer for a game to be played? Okay, a half hour. Whoopee. Would you want to sacrifice a half hour of your life watching football, watching your team win because they got it right? I know I would. I don't want to watch a 3-hour game when they get it wrong. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I know I'm on a soapbox, guys. I know I'm on a soapbox, but this thing absolutely irritates me. That's why I love baseball now. I love baseball. The only thing I don't like is that you can't challenge a third strike. I don't like that. I think you should. But everything else, you can challenge it. I agree with that. Absolutely agree with it because you got to get it freaking right. If players make the correct move and the correct play, and then it's not given to them, then why even get excited in the game? Because it's going to be rigged. It's going to be rigged, in my opinion. And I don't want to see that in the NFL. Absolutely don't want to see it in the NFL. And Major League Baseball is starting to get it right. And I hope the NFL takes a page and a chapter out of this is how you do it. Okay? Get it right, NFL. I'm tired of not being able to challenge penalties. Okay, whew. Man. Sorry, Clayton Huron. I got on a soapbox. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, man. I'm sorry about that, guys. Thanks for hanging in there. No worries. Our D will be back to normal. Stunts, twists, man to man. Safeties down, blitz linebackers, and an O ground and pound, short routes and a few long ones. And Russ uses his leg. Whoa, Clayton, that's a mouthful, man. That's an absolute mouthful. I hope you're right. I hope you're correct on even half of that, because we definitely do need our D line to get in the backfield. We don't have the D line in the backfield, then it's not going to work. It's not going to work. They'll just pick us apart left and right, and our defense will just get shredded again. And not that they were really shredded last time, but they were on the field too long. I did mention that I would give kudos to where kudos are. Offensive line really, really held up. Offensive line held up tremendously. Love to see that. Russell Wilson was only sacked twice for a total of 11 yards. He didn't throw any interceptions. I believe he was 27 of 34 for 177 yards. Not spectacular, but basically managing the game. And when you only have one receiver in Cortland Sutton and he's double teamed, and then you have Dulcich that goes out with an injury, you're not going to be able to throw to many people. The running game was really good. Really liked the way Williams ran. He didn't seem to have any concern about his knee. I know I sure would, but he didn't. And he ran well. He did great. Again, it just comes down to missed field goal and missed extra point. Bottom line. It's the bottom line. It's what it came down to. And again, that, in my opinion, that stupid call on fourth and 3 when they punted instead of going for it. People have asked me, did I like the onside kick that Sean Payton did to start the game? 100% absolutely agree with it. They caught the Raiders off guard, caught the Raiders totally flat-footed. We had that ball. In my opinion, that ball is not touched before the 10-yard. It was touched right on that line as I saw it. The angle that it was, maybe it might have been skewered somehow a little bit. Maybe it was kind of not definitely straight stem and kind of cock. I don't know. I still say that was Broncos ball. If Denver gets that ball, we go and score first. The game, in my opinion, is totally different. Totally different. Totally changed. Absolutely. Totally changed. Okay. All right. Let me go to this. We're talking about field goal kicker. All right. Let's go to this. And I know I sound like a Debbie Downer, but when you lose with the same score you did last year with two different head coaches, two different head coaches, two different kickers, same results, same score, well, you got to bring it up. Here it is. All right, Lutz and not Maher. Here's the dirty little secret. Lutz is only on this team because Sean Payton, wanted him to be the kicker after they spent 5 years together in New Orleans. It's a stretch to say Payton hired his buddy. No, it ain't. It ain't a stretch to say he hired his buddy. No stretch whatsoever. And here's why. It's a stretch to say Payton hired his buddy, but he knew exactly what he was doing when he shockingly cut McManus, then had a bit of a sham kicking competition with Maher and Elliott Fry during camp. There it is. There it is. Plain and simple. Black and white. I mean, come on, guys. Black and white. Okay? I'm not making this up. Sean Payton wanted his buddy. Just like my nephew Bobby said, he wanted Klutz. He wanted him on the team and get rid of Maher and Fry during camp, which was a sham performance of a kicking competition. It was no kicking competition. He just did that for the media. He did that. And here's the thing that I just thought of. He did that towards George Paton and the ownership. Oh, I'm doing what you want me to do. But this is who I really want. I really want this guy. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to manipulate it. Going to make it look like I want Maher or Fry because I got rid of Matt. Did he get rid of McManus? Oh, yeah, he did. That's why. He wanted to pave the way to get his buddy Klutz. I continue. Should I say Lutz or Klutz? Well, I'll be proper. Lutz only made 74.2% of his kicks in 2022, a year in which Paton was on a TV set. Fox, of course. Lux, lost out to a rookie in Saints camp this season. Sean, what in heaven's name are you doing? Oh, I forgot your buddy. So it's okay. It's okay. He can be 74.2%. It's okay. And lose out to a rookie. Oh my gosh. He was available for the season for a reason. He was available to the Broncos for a reason. And yet, Paton still traded a late round draft pick to get him. He didn't have to trade anything to get him. If he was available, what is he, the backup? Most people don't have backup kickers. Most teams don't have backup kickers. So if it says there that he lost to a rookie in the camp and was available for a reason, it didn't say he was available for a trade or for compensation or for a player. He didn't say that. It says he was available for a reason. And Sean Payton goes and rewards the Saints that he coached for 16 years and gives him a late round draft pick. Payton, are you playing double standard here? Are you trying to help out the Saints? Wait a minute. He traded for a late round pick when he really didn't have to. This is what bothers me. Who's he checking with? Is he checking with George Paton? Well, I'm getting into that. This is where Sean Payton's power may have already cost the Broncos a game. Game one. Did George Paton challenge Sean Payton on why these decisions were made? Even though it looks like McManus and Maher are better kickers than Lutz. McManus went 5 for 5 on field goals and extra points for the Jaguars this past Sunday. Maher was perfect, 11 for 11 on kicks in Denver's final 2 preseason games. And we keep Lutz because he's Sean Payton's buddy. I am so sick and tired of this nepotism I could throw up. I am. Some nepotism works out. Some of it does. But when you take a field goal kicker who is pathetic at 64.2% and loses this year to a rookie kicker, and you cut McManus, and I know I've heard it out there, guys, till I've had it up to here, that we were paying him too much and he wasn't that accurate, blah, 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 blah. Well, but Klutz is better. Klutz is more accurate. And I would have loved to have kept him Maher. I absolutely would have loved to kept Maher. But no, that's not what Sean Payton wanted. But why isn't George Paton calling Sean Payton on the carpet saying, hey, you cannot do this. You have to run this by me. You have to tell me why you want to get rid of this guy who's much better than this one. Why do you want to keep him? Because it's your buddy? Well, we don't play that game, Sean. We don't play that game. And here's where my problem lies with Sean Payton and George Paton. I am starting to see butts or head butts. I'm starting to see heads butting. Why? Because Sean Payton wants total control. And right now he has it. And George Paton is starting to get a little bit ticked off because it seems like they're not on the same page. And that's going to bring me to the topic of this show. George Paton on the hot seat? And I don't mean the hot seat for criticism this year. I'm talking about the hot seat for his job. Why? What? Why? Because of this? Because of one loss? No. I'm getting into that. All right. Let's go. The user JK3, I'm just going to call him that. User JK3 says, sorry, man, we can't play this what-if game. That onside kick call put them in a bad position and lost us the game. Raider went straight down the field afterwards and scored a touchdown. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. I totally agree. The reason why I say I like the onside kick is because it totally caught the Raiders off guard. If the Raiders were prepared for it, they would have ran up and gotten that ball prior to getting to the 10-yard marker. After that, it was another 5 or 7 yards that the ball carried into the Raiders' side. And yes, we didn't recover it, even though I think we should have. I mean, we recovered it. It wasn't given to us because they said that we touched it before the 10-yard mark. I disagree, but I'm not the ref. Oh, there we go, back with the referee thing. Okay, anyways. I disagree with that. I thought it was a brilliant call, just like when he pulled it off starting the third quarter in the Super Bowl with the Saints against the Colts. He pulled it off then. What if that backfired? Then the Colts would have won. It's a chance you have to take sometimes in the NFL. You have to push the envelope. He did it on the opening kickoff of the game. He did not do it on that 4th and 3 inside Raider territory when we were down by 1. That's when we should have gone for it. And so, yeah, it works both ways, man. It works both ways. And I agree with what you're saying. Yes. Do I think it cost us the game? No. The missed extra point cost us the game because we were in that game. We only lost 17-16. And I know what you're saying. Like I said it earlier, if we recover and go down the field and get a touchdown, the game's totally different. But we don't know if we would have kicked it deep, if the guy maybe would have returned it. Maybe they would have gone an extremely long drive. And now instead of being down 7-0, with just a few minutes gone. Now we're down 7-0 with a bunch of minutes gone because of the longer drive. I understand what you're saying. I appreciate what you're saying. I just feel that was a brilliant move. Just unfortunately didn't work. Will we ever try it again during the year? Don't know. I don't know. All right, here we go. Clayton Huron, let's get it. Come on, guys. Let's give a big thumbs up. Let's get a shout out to your little guy who turned 5 yesterday. Congratulations, Clayton, and your 5-year-old boy or girl? Oh, little guy. Duh. All right, cool. That's awesome, man. That's totally awesome. I have an 11-year-old grandson and a 6-year-old granddaughter. My granddaughter is going to be cheering for a flag football game tomorrow. So I'm going to go see that tomorrow and take pictures. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So, yeah, congratulations again to your little guy who turned 5 yesterday. Way to go, Clayton. Way to go. I love it. Madungus Creevy says, hey, what's up? What's up, Madungus? Nice to have you in the house as always. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Okay. Is George Paton on the hot seat? In my opinion, I don't know if it's hot yet, but it's certainly warming up. And here's why. George Paton on the GM hot seat. Is it for real? Well, in the 3 years he's been the Broncos GM, there have been questionable decisions. Trading the farm to get Russell Wilson and then giving him the moon in a huge salary extension, even without playing his first game as a Denver Bronco. That's one. But we were all excited because that's number 2. Hiring Nathaniel Hackett. 0 experience. I thought we've gone down that road before, guys. We went down it again. And guess what? Train wreck. Total train wreck. Absolutely. No question about it. That's number 2. Okay? And I know I'm going to hear some stuff, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to say it anyways. Cutting Brandon McManus. And I read earlier that McManus was 5 for 5 on the Jags and all that kind of stuff. I know he may have had a down year last year. Doesn't matter. He was 5 for 5 on the Jaguars. If we would have had our kicker, Klutz, 5 for 5, well, there you go. I'd just like him to make a freaking field goal and extra point. How's that? I'll take 2 for 2. Continue. Cutting Brandon McManus. Trading Albert O. I'll get into that too down the road. Hiring Nathaniel Hackett, which you already mentioned, and handing the reins to Wilson when he was under Hackett. Now, that might not have been George Paton doing, but George Paton's a general manager. When you're a general manager, you're overseeing everybody. You're overseeing the manager. You're overseeing the coaches. You're overseeing everybody and whatever they're doing. But to turn a blind eye and just let Russell Wilson have his own way, so to speak, his own entourage, letting Nathaniel Hackett just run amok with the preseason debacle and the OTAs and the cupcake walkthroughs and all that kind of stuff. George Paton has made some good choices. Yes, he did hire Sean Payton. That's a great move. It's a great move. He brought over Troutman. I like that move too. Like that move. Pyrene, like that move too. I just don't like certain things he's done that just have that were, I know they're last year, but guess what? Last year we're living last year because we have to climb out of last year. And we didn't climb out too well in game one when we repeated exactly the same thing. Is George Paton to me on the hot seat? Not yet. Not yet. But he had better turn the page. He had better turn the page for the positive. He needs to move in positive directions. And remember, guys, who the CEO is. He's also the owner, and Greg Penner. And I saw that game last week, and I saw Greg Penner and I saw Condoleezza Rice sitting in that owner's box, and they're like this. They were not happy, and neither was I. And neither should Broncos country shouldn't be happy. George Paton needs to correct this. Absolutely correct it. He needs to put his foot down and not let Sean Payton just run the whole show. Yes, as a head coach, you're going to want control of your players, but you cannot do things that are not in the best interest of the team. And I know there's going to be people out there that are going to say, well, we need to get rid of Braxton Lynch. Yeah, well, I'm glad we got rid of him a long time ago. We need to get rid of McManus. We need to get rid of Albert O because he doesn't block on. So, well, guess what? We have injuries again, guys, and Albert O sure would have been a nice comfort zone in there. Absolutely nice comfort zone. Well, we don't have him. Oh, guess who does have him? The Eagles. They won last night. I don't know what Albert O did. I was back and forth with watching different things, and I didn't catch it, but he's on the team. And so that's anyways, I'm not going to go down that road again. I've said it too many times, and too many people say we should have done this and that. Well, it's all good. Okay, so Robert Marino says Payton also fired Hackett, not even through a full season. Yeah, he did fire Hackett. So but in that regard, though, Robert, what he did was he basically corrected a wrong. And can you correct a wrong when you're 5-12? Or at that time they were 4-10 because they won a game and lost a game. So at 4-10, yeah, I mean you're going to get rid of him, but he never should have hired him. Absolutely never, ever, ever should have hired him. Okay, Madungus Creepy comes in and said the owners up the pay on Russell Wilson's extension. Okay, then they believe the orange and blue Kool-Aid as well. And we all bought into it. We all bought into it. And I understand that the ownership is going to do with the GM, but at some point in time, you've got to see production prior to extension. And I don't know. I think Russell Wilson is doing better this year. Like I mentioned earlier, offensive line looked great. Running game looked great. Russell Wilson didn't throw any picks, but he also didn't have a Hall of Fame game either. It was just managing the game. And unfortunately, came up one point loss. Okay, user JK3 says Broncos versus Raiders is always a close game. There are great rivals in that. Games are always close. We cannot afford to take risks. The percentage of onside kicks is always a gamble. And I agree. It is always a gamble. But, a lot of things are gambles. Throwing a deep pass and all that kind of stuff, running it on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, whatever. It's going to be a gamble. Yes, I understand the onside kick. Again, I still think it was a great move on the opening day of the season, catch the other team off guard. Unfortunately, again, I'll say it till I'm orange and blue in the face, still say that he did not touch it prior to the 10-minute mark or 10-yard mark. Just my opinion. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I don't know. Okay, so But Dungus chimes in and says, so if Wilson turns it around this year, is it a bad trade and extension? No, it's not a bad trade and extension if he turns around. But there we go again. We go back to the if factor. And I know if we would have got the outside kick, if we would have made the field goal, if we would have got the extra point, I understand all that. If, it's true. But I'm just going by, what have you done for me lately? And what has Wilson done for us lately? Not so much. Not so much. When the team now, going back to last year, is 5-13, doesn't bode well. And yes, that was only one game with Sean Payton as head coach, and that's a great point. He's only the first game. But I go back to, we need to win this Sunday. If we go 0-2, and I read it earlier, and it's off the screen now, but I read it earlier. If we go 0-2, the chances of making the playoffs are 11.5% chance, period. And that bodes very scary, for a lot of teams that right now are 0-1. And that's not a good place to be in. So we have to win this game. And I'll get into that here in just a few minutes. That's a must win. Is it a must win in week 2? I'll tell you what I think. All right. Big E says, the only way, if that's not a bad trade and extension, if Russell Wilson gets back top 5, because when it's all said and done, you had to give up 3 first-round draft pick players and 2 second-round. Great point, Big E. Great point. You're absolutely right. And in my opinion, if he has a turnaround year, but we don't make the playoffs, or we do make the playoffs, but barely squeak in as a last wild card team, and then we're one and done. Was it good? Well, it's better. I wouldn't say that he would be top 5, but it would definitely be better. Would it be worth the extension? I would have to say we have to see year 3. We would have to see year 3, because for every negative, it takes 2 positives to be on the positive side. Because if you have a negative or a bad, and then you have a good, now you're even. So you have to have, if for every bad, you have to have 2 good. So that means Russell Wilson not only has to be good this year and better than last year, but he has to even be better next year than this year. Because like I just mentioned, you have to keep progressing. Because if you don't, you're sliding backwards, and now you're right back to even. And now you're not worth what they gave you. Not worth it all. Okay. Are the Denver Broncos snake bit? Injuries continue. Caden Stearns, Denver's safety, is done for the season with a torn patella tendon in the second quarter of the Raiders game. Now, he was going after a receiver making a tackle, and he kind of twisted and went down awkwardly, and he's done. He torn his patella tendon. He's done for the year. Not only is he done, but we've got other injuries of players that are out. We've got ones that are on the I think I talked about that last week or on the 5280 when I was on there on Tuesday. We don't have Dulcich. We don't have Dulcich. He's injured. And I gotta follow up on that one. I think it's kind of interesting. So let me continue with this. Also in the game, Greg Dulcich went out with a hamstring injury that he is expected to be sidelined for multiple weeks. So now we don't have. Oh, wait a minute. Don't we have Albert? No, never mind. He's done. He's in Philadelphia. So we don't have Dulcich. We don't have Albert O. We do have Troutman, but Dulcich is our main guy. And now we don't have him for several weeks. And we don't know if we're getting Jerry Jeudy back for Washington. And who are we going to throw to? Because when we played the Raiders and Dulcich went out, we had Cortland Sutton. He was double teamed. And they knew that if we had to pass, we were going to have to check it down to our running backs. So they blanketed them like a wet blanket. Who are we going to throw to? And what are we going to do? Run it 95% of the time? They're going to know that too. We're in a world of hurt. Washington's front line, defensive line is insane. They get after you. And if Russell Wilson can't get protection, even half, well, he's got to be more than what they did against the Raiders, because the Redskins, well, it's who they should be. The Commanders' rush defense is much better than the Raiders. And we're going to be in trouble, guys, if we cannot keep them out of the backfield. Who we got to throw it to? Hopefully Judy comes back. I know we signed a wide receiver, but they haven't worked with Wilson. They don't know the game plan or the game book, the playbook. They're gonna have to learn that in a shotgun format. It's not gonna be easy, and it doesn't get easier after Washington, because then we got to go to Miami and play the Dolphins. That team is on fire. That team put up 36 points against the Chargers, and that was impressive. Absolutely impressive. I don't know, guys. I'm going to get into this, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good, especially if we lose to Washington. Let's see. Hey, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the house, Travis Johnson. What about Robbie Moss and J.K. Skinner? Yep, I'll take them too. But they're not as far developed as a Cortland Sutton and a Jerry Jeudy and a Dulcich. Dulcich, I know it's only his second year, but he's still, Dulcich is a weapon, man, an absolute weapon. I continue with what Travis saying. He says, I thought they were supposed to be good, and trading Albert O doesn't look good. No, it doesn't look good. Absolutely doesn't look good. And that was part of my point. Okay, he's not a great run blocker. Who gives a Frosty? If you're throwing the ball and he can catch it and he can jump over players like he did in the last preseason game, and he can knock over players, he's a force to be reckoned with. I don't care. I don't care if they know we're passing or not. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, guys. And if we're scraping the bottom of the barrel right now in going into the second game of the season, this is not looking good for the next 15 games after this one. It's not looking good at all. I hope things change. D-Rock said, Big Bill. I say, hey, what's up, Big D-Rock, man? Nice to have you in the house as always. Always, always, always. Okay, D-Rock also said Jerry Jeudy is back. I hope you're right. I haven't seen that definitively. I didn't see it come across my phone. Madungus Creevy echoes that, says Judy's playing against the Commanders. Okay, great. Absolutely fantastic. One thing that scares me about Jeudy is he 100%? Is he 98, 95? Could he be going down the field and make a hard cut and bam, the hamstring goes again? I don't want to see that. I hope it doesn't. But we need somebody like Jerry Jeudy to be able to get open, because they're covering Cortland Sutton like nobody's business, because they know we have nobody else to throw to. So we got to have Troutman in there. We got to have Jeudy in there. We got to have Cortland Sutton. We got to have a running backs firing off like they were before. That's what we need. Let's see. D-Rock said we finally get to see Riley Moss. I sure hope so. I hope so. I like that kid. How about that? What's that guy? Little Humphrey. I like him too. I like Little Humphrey as well. What? Madungus, you're kidding me. You cannot be serious. Madungus Cruz says Frank Clark got injured in practice. Wow. That's good news for Denver. That's for sure. Absolutely good news. I don't want his career to be ended, but hey, if he's out for the game against wait a minute. Frank Clark is for hang on. Is Frank Clark's for us, isn't he? Am I thinking about somebody else? Yeah, Frank. Okay, wait a minute. That's not if that's not good if it's for us. I'm thinking somebody else. Who am I thinking of? Am I thinking who's that guy in Kansas City that anyways? I'm probably barking up the wrong tree. Brent Clark's on the Broncos. He said, okay, I'm thinking of somebody else. That's not good then. That's not good. See, all these injuries, man. I mean, I mentioned it last week that I firmly believe it's the turf. I can't prove it, but I don't know. Something's going on. Something's going on with these guys are just getting injured. If we have all of these high top quality, that's what I'm thinking of. Chris Jones. That's what I'm thinking of. Thanks, Mendungus. I'm thinking of Chris Jones. Okay. I was hoping he was out. Anyways, if we have all these high quality, top notch trainers and staff people that can get out there and get these guys back on the field and and not getting hurt and stuff. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what is going on with these guys. All right, Robert. Okay, yes, Patrick Mahomes is on Kansas City. I got that freaking guy. All right, man. I see where you're coming from. I see where you guys are going. All right, just keep dogging me. I got it. I didn't expect to go down the Frank Clark road, so that's what caught me off guard. Okay, I want to touch on another injury, and this one's very, very sad. I know I'm known on the neighborhood by Kamani as Hitman Bill, but that's only because when we're playing a team and I want to win the game, if one of their players goes down with an injury, not season ending, not career ending, but just the game against us, I'm all for it because that means that we have a better chance to beat them. So it's not cheating. It's not cheating whatsoever. I mean, a guy goes down injured. Hey, I'm sorry you got hurt, but better for us. This one is not better for the league. Here it is. On just the fourth snap from the Jets offense, Aaron Rodgers was sacked and his left foot got seriously stretched. And the result was a season-ending Achilles tear. Now, that thing was ugly. It snapped, rolled up his leg, and just was ugly. The Jets did get the win with an overtime walk-off punt return, beating the Buffalo Bills 22-16. My point is this, guys. That is on AstroTurf. That is on artificial turf. And that needs to be corrected because that artificial turf will wreck and ruin a season. Just the fourth snap from the Jets offense in game one, and Aaron Rodgers' season is done and possibly his career. Would I love to have seen Aaron Rodgers against Russell Wilson? Not so much. But I also don't want to see Aaron Rodgers' career and season ended. Why? It's not good for the league. We don't have John Elway in the league anymore. We don't have, top players like Peyton Manning or Tom Brady of recent. We don't have those guys in the league anymore. We do have a Patrick Mahomes, but we also have an Aaron Rodgers we had and a Russell Wilson, which we're still looking to see if he'll become better. And we have all these, these star players out there that make the game better. Do I look forward to the Jets game with a little bit more optimism? Absolutely. But I'm just reiterating the fact that there's so many injuries this season. It just seems there's so many injuries this season to very, very key players that the NFL is not the NFL that we're used to with all these top quality players because they're not there. They're not there because of injuries. I don't know if it's turf related. I don't know if it's cleats related. I don't know if it's training. I don't know if it's a weight room. I don't know what it is. I don't know what. I can't put my finger on it. That's what bothers me is these players going down. It can even be non-contact and players are going down. And that's what really I can't put my finger on. And it bothers me. It bothers me because so many Bronco players have gone down even before the season starts. And that's not good. Not good for the Broncos, not good for the AFC West, not good for the AFC, and not good for the NFL. All right. Let me get to this real quick. Going back to Dulcich's injury. Let's see. With the team lacking depth at tight end, former Broncos wide receiver. I'm sorry. This is not about Dulcich. It's about Jerry Jeudy and Tim Patrick. With the team lacking depth in wide receiver, former Broncos wide receiver Cody Latimer hinted on social media that he could return and play tight end in Dulcich's absence. He's willing to try out tight end and be used in wide receiver roles. Latimer played 4 seasons for the Broncos from 2014 to 2017 and was on the 2015 Super Bowl championship team. So he knows how to win, guys. He knows how to win. I'm going to throw this out there. Would that be a smart move to bring Cody Latimer back to the Broncos to fill in at tight end as well as possible slot or wide receiver because he has that knowledge, that ability, that winning attitude, knows how to win, and knows what it takes mentally and physically to win in very, very close games and what it needs to take. My question is this: yes or no? Do you guys want to see Cody Latimer back on the Broncos? I say yes. What's the harm? What's the harm? Okay, I know you guys are probably going to say, well, you need to cut somebody. Okay, we'll find somebody. I mean, we need tight ends. We need receivers. We need somebody to be able to catch the doggone ball. Who's going to catch it? Running backs and just get slammed every time because I know they're getting it? Throw it to double coverage on Cortland Sutton? Throw it to Jerry Jeudy? You know he's going to be blanketed by whomever's best corner. Guys, we're starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel, and we're only heading into week 2. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Listen to it. Listen to what I've been saying. I'm not making this stuff up. I never do. I'm just being honest. We need to make moves. Hey, George Paton. I talked about you being on the hot seat. Make a good move. Bring back Cody Latimer. What is the harm? What is the harm? Okay, let's see. So user JK3 said, depends on how old he is now. Good point. I don't know how old Cody Latimer is. But if he played in 2014 and 2017. So let's say he came in the league in 2014. Let's say he was 20. I'll just say he's 22. So that's 4 years. So that's 28. 17 to 23 is another 6 years. So he's what, 34? Okay. That ain't bad. 34 years old. Okay. Maybe he'll give you a good year. We only need him for a year. We only need him for, till we get Dulcich healthy again and we get all these other guys back. So bring him in for 1 year. Sign to a 1-year contract. What's the freaking harm? What's the harm? I mean, seriously, what's the harm? Put him out there. If he makes put him out there 4, 5, 6 plays, maybe he catches 3 passes and we end up getting a touchdown out of those catches as a result of moving down the field. Was it worth it? Yes, absolutely then. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Give him a chance. Who knows? Sean Payton loves tight ends. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe Sean Payton doesn't like Cody Latimer. Think so? Yeah, good possibility. He didn't like McManus. He didn't like my hair. I know I'm going down that slippery slope again. But hey, when it's there, it's there. Big E says, why not just go out and get another big body? Okay, who? Who are you going to get? We need somebody who can catch the ball. We need somebody who's skilled. Somebody who can come right in and is game shape. I don't know who that is out there. I really don't. Well, that's stretching it a little bit, user JK3. That's stretching a little bit. He says, might as well see what Terrell Owens is up to these days. I think Terrell Owens is a little bit older than 34. Just saying. Got a hunch he's a little bit older. Yeah, that's what I would say. Okay. Let's see. Biggie says Julio Jones is still sitting out there, big body wide receiver. Okay. I like that. I like Julio Jones. I really do. I don't know at what price he'll come. If he's out there, I don't know what salary price he comes at. That'd be interesting. That's a good call though. Good call, Big A. Really appreciate it. I like it. Robert Marino says Dalton Risner is still a free agent. I say bring him back. Bring back Dalton Risner. We need Dalton Risner. The guy's good. He knows the team. He knows the players. He knows the system. Bring him back. I never want him gone to begin with. He didn't want to be gone. He wants to be a Denver Bronco for life. So, no, Robert. We ain't going down that road. Antonio Brown. No. Nope. That's a good one though. I like where you come from, a humorous side, but nah. Nope. I don't want to see Antonio Brown. Come on, man. Nope, not happening. I don't even want James Brown. You know what I'm saying? The singer. Yeah, it's a whole nother. Anyways, okay. Last topic, guys. Thanks for hanging in there. Really appreciate you on a Friday night, September. Okay, here it is. Pre-game preview of the Washington Commanders at Denver Broncos this Sunday, 1:25 Pacific time, 2:25 Mountain time at Denver. Washington is 1-0 after coming back against the Cardinals and winning 26. Oh, there's that number again. 20 Cardinals had 16. Washington 20. And Denver is 0-1 after losing to the Raiders 17. Yeah, you got it. 16. This is a must win even in week 2. And here's why I say it's an absolute must win. Okay. Reason why I say it's a must win is what I stated earlier. The team goes 0-2. The chances of that team making the playoffs, and I know, guys, we got one more game than we've had in the past. And I know they're talking about the games when it was 14 game season stuff. It's all calculated in there. The teams that go 0-2 to start the season only make the playoffs with an 11.5% chance. 11.5% chance. That basically breaks it down to slim and none. Basically slim and none. Is it impossible? No. 31 teams out of 200 and I forgot what it was. I looked at out of 200 and something chances of teams go, or 200 some odd chances, or 200 some odd teams that went 0-2. 37 of them have made the playoffs. That's not much. That's 11.5%. That is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So in my opinion, this game this Sunday is an absolute must win. We lose this game, we're staring at another losing season, but a 7th season without making the playoffs because of the chances at 11.5%. Could it be turned around? Could it be done? Absolutely. It's been done 37 times. People have been struck by lightning. Doesn't mean you're going to be struck by lightning. The chances are slim and none, guys. That's what I'm trying to point out. You've got to understand this is a very must win. If Washington goes up 2-0, or 2-0, like baseball playoffs, I'm thinking Cubs. If they go up 2 wins and no losses, and the Broncos are no wins and 2 losses, yes, they're different conferences. Doesn't matter. You're still 2 games down in anybody else in the AFC. Remember, the Raiders beat us. If they go 2-0, now we're basically 2 games behind them, because not only 2 games behind them if we lose to Washington and we go 0-2 and they're 2-0, they also beat us. So they got the tiebreaker. So now we got to win 3. It goes back to what I was saying. You have a negative, you need 2 positives to be ahead. Okay? It's basic math. It's easy. But at the same time, it's hard because you cannot go 0-2. How is Denver going to win this game against Washington? Not simple, but it's elementary. Okay? Here's what they have to do to win this game. Time of possession. Hang on to the frickin' ball. Don't let the how come am I losing? It looks like my connection's unstable. I don't know what's going on here. Let me see what's happening here, guys. I can't. It's too late to the show. I can't alter. Okay. Hopefully it's coming through. Okay. You got to have time of possession. You got to hang on to the ball. You cannot go 3 and out consistently. You have to be. You have to manage the game. You have to get first downs. You have to keep the Washington offense off the field. Not because they're electric, no, but you have to wear down that defense. That pass rush that is so dominant and so electric, you got to keep them on the field. And I know not on the field because it gives them a better chance to sack Wilson. No, you keep them on the field to get them freaking tired. They need to get tired. And then the flip side, the Broncos defense needs to shut down Washington, cause 3 and outs to bring that defense back on the field. So therefore they have they even get more tired. So you have to have Broncos offense has to have time of possession. The defense has to create 3 and outs. And third factor into winning this game, you have to reduce the penalties. You have to shut down the penalties. Quit taking stupid penalties. And referees, quit throwing penalties for what's it called? Not unsportsmanlike conduct. Personal fouls. Quit throwing personal foul penalties when it's not a personal foul. Okay? Okay? Watch the game. Watch it closely. All right? Make the correct call. And there is a fourth one. Lutz, can you please make a freaking extra point and a field goal when you're called upon? Because that's all you're paid to do. Can you please do your job? Please? I didn't say it's easy, but you're the one getting paid to do it, so freaking do it. Okay? Just freaking do it. Final score. Here it is. Final score, Denver 24, Washington 20. There you go, guys. That's what you have. I say Denver wins the game. It's a bounce back game. They're going to make adjustments, but it's all going to come down to those 4 critical things I said. Broncos offense, time of possession, defense getting 3 and outs, shut down the penalties. Do not do stupid penalties, and let's do your job. Make field goals, make extra points. That's all we're asking. That's all we're asking. Okay. And if that takes place, Denver will win this game. I have it going at 24-20 Denver. All right. Let's see. Who's Champ Bailey? Oh, Robert Marino says Broncos versus Commanders. Who is Champ Bailey rooting for? Wow, that's a good question, because he's already talking about, going back and being part of the Redskins, being part of the Commanders, because now that Daniel Snyder's not the owner anymore, he feels more at ease to going back to the Washington facility and all that. He went into the Hall of Fame as a Denver Bronco. Good point, Robert. I don't know. In most cases, he's probably rooting for a tie. That way he doesn't have to be split down the middle. Let's see. Okay. So Madungus Creevy says he has the Broncos winning 28-14. Well, that takes the field goal out of the equation, so that's good. As long as he can make extra points. 28-14. Okay. I'll go with that. That sounds good. I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. Absolutely. Take that all day long. As long as the Broncos win, I don't care. They can win 17-6. I don't want that score again. But they can win by 1 point. They can win 28-27. I'd still be happy because we won. I wouldn't be as happy because it was too close and it would be butt cheek tight time. But I wouldn't want that. So anybody who's seen my shows in the past knows what that means. So anyways, that just means that I'm nervous as heck and my cheeks are tight. So anyways, that's all that was referenced for. See, that's what I agree with. I agree with Big E. He says, I don't care as long as the Broncos win. I absolutely agree 100%. Okay, guys, that's it. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you have not, please do so. Tell your friends, your family, your relatives, your aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, in-laws, outlaws, and hoodlums. Tell anybody to subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Cost them nothing, but it sure boosts up the subscribers. So I really appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up button, as Clayton Huron always says. Hit the thumbs up button and share the content. I really do appreciate every single one of you in the show. Greatly appreciate it. As always, I will run down those who have participated, because if it wasn't for you guys, the show would not be nearly as good as it is. You guys are the backbone of the show. I always want to give you accolades. So here you go. Clayton Huron, thanks for being in the house. Clayton, Robert Marino, Big E Bronco. Let's go on down. User JK3FC, whatever G. I wanted to say it all, but I couldn't figure it out. Keep on going down. We got Madungus Creevy. And, Jody Lynn Baker. Hey, I'm going to put you up there. Jody Lynn Baker, thank you so much for being in the house. Says, yes, get rid of him. He hasn't done anything to fix anything. And this whole Russell Wilson thing is a bust. Gave up way too many players and draft picks, wasted too much money on an old, washed up, and has been. Well, I'll tell you what, you made your point. I agree when it came to last year. I'm not too sure about this year. We still have 16 games to go. We haven't played Sunday yet. We still got 16 games to go, so we'll see what happens. Jody, I hope you're wrong. I do appreciate you chiming in and stating your comment, your facts, or your points. I really do appreciate it. I'm not going to chastise anybody that has a point put up. That's their opinion, and I do appreciate it. Just glad you're watching, glad you're in the house, and glad you're participating. Really do appreciate it. Let's see. Peyton Madungan says Peyton didn't give the extension. The owners did. Okay. Then it's on the owners, and they got to own up. No pun intended. But yeah, that's very true. But as general manager, I think he does have some part in it. So it's just interesting. Okay, we're going down the list again with other people that may have been D-Rock. D-Rock's in the house. Always glad to see him. And that about takes care of it for everybody that was in the chat. Once again, thanks to everybody for being here on a Friday. I know you have busy things going on a Friday evening, heading into the weekend. I'm not going to run down all the other things. I'll just briefly say that we have, really quick, we have the cluster puck on Mondays. We have the 5280 on Tuesdays, followed by the no nonsense and whiskey. We have Wild Wild West on Wednesday. We have Orange and Brews on Thursday. I know we have another show, but I never can remember why. I don't put it up. I should post it up on here, but I don't. And then again on Friday, this show, hopefully I'm back here next Friday talking about a Broncos win. But in any case, win, lose, or draw, I will be back here next Friday live 5, 6, 7, and 8 for Broncos Breakdown with me, your host, Bronco Bill. Until then, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Let's go Broncos. Let's get a W. Bye-bye.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.